clearing the malignancy.
This video is going to be about a group of foods, mainly peanuts and almonds, maybe some other ones, and their effects on calves in the nutrient shadow zone. So the first one is peanuts biases toward IgA production. Lipid co-delivery improves uptake by M cells. Okay, so also dendritic cells conditioning engulfed and dendritic cells exposed to peanut components upregulates retinoic acid. Now that's another word for vitamin A, or the pathway that boosts vitamin A. But excessive vitamin A could eventually lead to tumor support. So maybe avoid having excessive peanuts. Okay, now peanut fibers plus polyphenols leads to short-chain fatty acid production, which enhances plasma cell survival and IgA secretion rate. Okay, IgA is critical in the nutrient shadow zone because IgA behaves as a soft containment. What it does is that it reduces chronic inflammation that would lead to tumors, also reducing calf activation due to pressure in mucosa at adjacent tissues. This could be possibly due to IgA acting as an immune excluder, not for the immune cells, but for what could trigger or support tumors. And IgA excludes microbes, food antigens, and toxins, therefore preventing epithelial penetration, or those toxins and microbes and food antigens going through the gut barrier or the gut mucosa. Because calves or cancer-associated fibroblasts are activated via mucosa at adjacent tissues by the microbes and food antigens and toxins. But the IgA, thanks to peanuts, stops that calf activation from happening by excluding toxins and food antigens and other microbes. That reduction of calves or cancer-associated fibroblasts is critical because they help tumors. And now almonds, they activate CD69, or that is an increased marker when it comes to T cell activation. But the CD69 is calcium influx NFAT dependent, which links back to one of my other videos. Now, NFAT has to be dephosphorylated by calcineurin, but Kiwi is needed for short bursts of calcium at the channels where the calcium comes out of, which is the ORAI and the TRPML1. So those are channels that release calcium, but those channels could be oxidized, leading to closure of the channels or prolonged opening of those channels. Therefore, calcium comes out too much, calcineurin stays on prolonged, the longer the worse, and then NFAT stays phosphorylated, but it's supposed to be dephosphorylated, so Kiwi is supposed to help with that. So Kiwi combined with almonds is a good combination because almonds activates a CD69, and that CD69 is NFAT dependent, but NFAT will not work without calcineurin and Kiwi. Okay, next thing that almonds activates is CD25. That's important for responsiveness to IL-2.
T cells need CD25 to function properly. Without CD25, T cells can't activate. But Treg monsters steal IL-2, weakening T cells. Time to boost immunity. Almonds and pist increase CD25 expression. Now T cells are strong again with high CD25.
So like, let's say if CD69 compared or combined with NFAT revived IL-2. The immune cells will not be able to take the IL-2 without the CD25. Another important marker Almonds reactivates is CD71 for iron uptake by T cells. CD44, which Almonds boosts for antigen
Clearing the malignancy.
tissue homing, which means that immune cells can enter the extracellular matrix to attack cancer cells. So another critical role of vitamin E in almonds is that it also enhances the ZAP70LAT signaling. Now that's important because of the ZAP70 pathway is important for calcium influx, and then the calcineurin removing the phosphate groups from NFAT, so that the CD25 on the immune cell can uptake IL-2, and the IL-2 is upregulated by CD69, which is those are T cell activation markers. Okay, so another critical role of vitamin E, if the phytic acid is not taken up or binding to the vitamin E, because almonds have phytic acid that binds to nutrients and minerals. But if the almonds are roasted, there might be some vitamin E left because roasting takes away the phytic acid from the almonds. So vitamin E supports the preserving of the MAPK AP1 activation strength. Now that's critical because AP1 actually goes hand in hand or in tandem or works together with NFAT after the NFAT enters or translocates into the nucleus, because NFAT alone cannot revive IL-2. NFAT has to be paired together with AP1, but AP1 all on its own can be lost. But if it's brought back, hopefully with the help of a vitamin E, NFAT with AP1 together as a team brings back IL-2 for exhausted T cells. Also, NFAT with AP1, CD25 is also able to work. Okay, so almonds, they favor productive NFAT AP1 pairing, which is critical, instead of dysfunctional NFAT solo signaling, which could be the case if, let's say, calcineurin was to supposedly somehow dephosphorylate NFAT for IL-2 to come in. But if AP1 is not brought in, then that's not going to work, of course, because NFAT cannot work without AP1. So, quick recap: peanuts, IgA leads to mucosal tolerance barrier defense, leaving out toxins, foodborne illnesses that would otherwise activate CAFs, because are short for cancer-associated fibroblasts, because then the CAFs would send over exosomes and endosomes over to the tumors, causing havoc. Okay, almonds has vitamin E. Almonds could have phytic acid, not allowing the vitamin E to be taken up. So possibly roasting the almonds could reduce the phytic acid, allowing the vitamin E to be available if the roasting does not reduce the vitamin E. Therefore, vitamin E is critical for AP1 strength signaling. Because of NFAT, dephosphorylated cannot work alone. It needs AP1. Almonds can help with that as well. Okay, almonds is a T cell activation markers enabler, CD69 for NFAT, CD25 for T cells to uptake IL-2 after CD69 combined with NFAT allows calcium influx. The calcium influx comes first, and then calcineurin removes phosphate groups from NFAT. And then vitamin E in almonds allows the calcineurin axis because vitamin E enhances the ZAP70 pathway, which eventually leads to calcineurin removing phosphate groups from NFAT for IL-2 for T cells. So that's it for the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.